friends, welcome back to my channel, a place where we explore the life of technology and make programming fun and easy to learn. Talking about exploring the life of technology, we have with us today Rahul Aakunuru, who works at Facebook, or you can say Meta right now, and we will try to explore how his typical day looks like, what are his challenges, and some of the key terms that you would see in a big organization like Facebook. And at the end, we will know if Rahul has some advice to give to our viewers. So, Rahul, welcome to my mini studio. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me over here. You have a very great mini studio, by the way.
Thank you, thank you. So, Rahul, you work at Meta. So, tell me something about yourself.
I was born and raised in Hyderabad. I got my undergrad degree from computer science, and I went to VIT Vellore, and then I went to Arizona State University to get my master's degree in computer science as well. After that, I joined Microsoft. I worked there for like 4 years as software engineer, and then recently, 3 months back, I've joined Facebook or Meta.
Okay, that sounds amazing. And oh, by the way, fun fact: me and Rahul were roommates at some point of time. So Rahul, you did a really great job, like summarizing your entire journey. So right now you work at Meta. So what does your typical day look like? How do you start your day? Do you have stand-up meetings? What does a typical day at Facebook is like? What does a person expect when joining such a company like Facebook?
Yeah, as I said before, I've joined like recently, right? So currently, I'm optimizing my time to like learn as much as I can. So what I do is I reach office by 8, and then I'll review the PRs. I'll review the PRs that my team members have sent, so that I'll know like what each member is working on. So that if I have any doubts in that space, I can just reach out to them and ask them, and also like know a little bit about the code base and all. By the way, Meta uses a hack and all, so like I'm not familiar with it, so I'm like completely learning that new programming language. So it's a lot of learning and all. But as you said, yeah, there is like a daily stand-up meeting like every single day, and yeah, and then after that I'll work on my own projects. And I think when you're new to an organization, you get blocked a lot, right? So like most of my time is to figure out like whom to ask, like what kind of questions, and how do I unblock myself.
Right. Okay, that sounds fun. But from what I got, you are in stand-ups from the morning, then you're reviewing PRs, then you're working on your own projects. So is it like all work and no play for you?
Oh no, not at all. So actually, like in Meta, you get like free food.
Oh my god, that's amazing.
Free snacks.
Oh.
Free non-alcoholic beverages.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's a lot of fun. So I think, and right now, like everyone is coming to office, so we go for lunch together, and there's a lot of chatting about. We'll get.
This must be a very good refresher after the pandemic, right? Like everyone is returning to office, and now you're chatting again with your teammates, all of your friends. Right?
Yeah, and it also makes it easy for me to like ask questions and all actually. So yeah, so it's not like, and then like once every 3 months, like once every quarter, we go out for lunch and like. Events like offsite events. In fact, like last week we went for like indoor go-karting. It was really fun.
Oh, indoor go-karting sounds fun.
Yeah.
So do you guys like even play board games, or do you guys have social hours? I know some companies do. What about Meta?
Actually, yeah. So like I think in my team, like we catch up like every Friday, like for like a couple of hours, and we play games like online games like Pictionary or like any like board games and something like that. So it's really fun, and the colleagues are also like really nice and really helpful and really understanding.
Right. So yeah, all of this sounds really exciting. So can you tell me something about how you got into Meta? What was the interview process like? How did you approach it?
Yeah, so I think like at one point like one of the Meta recruiter reached out to me on LinkedIn. By the way, I keep my LinkedIn profile really active. Like I'll update what are my current project, what I'm working on LinkedIn and all. So I think that grabbed her attention, and then she reached out to me on LinkedIn. And then there will be like something called the recruiter call. Like the recruiter tries to like figure out like if you're a right fit for the team, and after that you will have one online assessment test.
Okay.
And the after that, if you pass the online assessment test, you will have something called the telephonic round.
Okay.
And once you pass all these 3 barriers, then you get like something called the virtual onsite. The virtual onsite is like from like 9 a.m. to like 4 p.m. Like
wow, that's really straining. You would like be tired by the end of the day, right?
Yeah, but actually you can like split those so many interviews into like 2 days, but I didn't want to do it. I just wanted to like finish it off in like one single day. So.
Okay. So like I would assume that the interviewer would try to make you comfortable with the process. Like they would want to be comfortable so that you are acclimatizing with the environment and trying to assess, like, okay, this is how it's like to work at Meta. This is how it's like to work at such a big company under constant pressure, right?
Yeah. Actually, I think you should you should really take advantage of interviews. You know, towards the end of the interview, like maybe like last 5 seconds, they reserve the time to like ask question about the company and about the team. So you can use the time to like ask like how is it to like to work for such for the particular team or in that company.
So yeah, sure, I get it. Like we cannot go into every detail of what question was asked and how did Rahul approach all of them. So yeah, I can post some resources in the description below for you guys to check it out. But Rahul, I would want to know like which topics would you advise our viewers to study? Like which topics should they focus upon? What would be your advice to them?
I think there are like two main topics. One is like data structures and algorithms.
You can talk to the audience.
I think there are like two main topics. Like one is like data structures and algorithms, and another one is like the system design. For the data structures and algorithms, starting from like the basic things like strings, arrays, and then you have to be very familiar and have very strong concepts, have very strong grasp in the very strong grasp in the concept of like trees and graphs as well. In Facebook, we use graph like very heavily. So like for example, like we use something called social graph where like you are a node and I am a node. If you have a profile, it's stored as a node. If I have a profile, it's stored as a node. And if you and I are friends, it is connected by an edge. So all your graph algorithms come into play.
Okay, so sounds like the data structure and the algorithm are really essential for your day-to-day life at Facebook, right?
Oh my god, yes, a lot. Like especially the problem-solving skills. Yeah.
So Rahul, I have one more question for you. So from what I have seen, when people like you are preparing for interviews, when people are studying in the colleges, they believe that they have to get into some elite colleges or Ivy League colleges to get a job offer from some of these companies like Facebook, Microsoft. And you being an individual who has got an offer from Microsoft, from Facebook, and I believe you must have had offers from other companies too. So what advice would you like to give our viewers? Do you have to be in a very popular college? Do you have to be over there just to get offers from these companies?
No, I don't think so. Like all you need is like basic algorithm, strong grasp on, as I told you, strong grasp on like the basic concepts, right? So you don't have to be in like you don't have to go to like IITs and IIMs and Ivy League colleges. But as long as you are very strong on your concepts, it's very easy to crack these interviews. But one thing, what I would suggest is like like big companies, like everyone wants to get into it, so like they'll get like thousands and thousands of resumes. So one proxy that recruiters or the hiring managers will see is like which university did they go to.
And that is where the university comes in.
Yeah, but what you can offset that with making creating your very rich profile, like giving links to your GitHub profile or giving links to your LinkedIn profile where you can sell yourself, you can show your project, you can show your work. So you definitely need like few data points so that the recruiter or the hiring manager is even interested to call you for an interview.
Okay, so looks like Rahul is telling that you have to sell yourself. Like I would say that maybe you can create your public profile, keep your GitHub profile updated, show what projects you have done, so that your profile stands out. Am I being correct over here?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Okay, that all of that sounds good. So if you have to give like one piece of advice to your viewers, what would that be?
I think like getting into this like fan companies, like big companies, is highly competitive, and you should have very strong grasp on all these concepts. But you and also like sometimes it is really frustrating. I've been through that process very recently, so I know like how frustrated I was.
Right.
But you have to be really consistent, and you have to be very really persistent about about your interview process. And at the end of the day, like no matter which you would be able to clear like any interview. Like no matter like Microsoft or Uber or Facebook or Google, like you would be able to like clear any interview if you are persistent about it.
Wow, all of this sounds really fun, Rahul. And by the way, you had me at free food. So yeah, Rahul, thank you for chatting with us today. And by the way, like if you want to connect with Rahul, I'll surely drop him his LinkedIn profile, and feel free to connect with him if that's okay with you.
Oh yeah, definitely. Feel free to connect with me. I'll even do for you at Meta.
Okay, sounds good, Rahul. Thank you for chatting with us today.
Thank you.